Boxing legend Mohammad Ali will be remembered this week with services in his hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. He died of septic shock on Friday after a 30-year battle with Parkinson's disease. Tributes have been pouring in. Among the latest is from Argentine football great Diego Maradona on Facebook. A public ceremony will honour Ali on Friday after a private family gathering the day before. His daughter Hana Ali joins us now on the phone from Los Angeles. This is the first time she has spoken publicly since her father's death. Hana, really lovely to have you with us. I am really sorry for your loss. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. Well, you know, naturally, it's difficult. You know, I think that we're all in shock still. We just can't believe it. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but we sort of thought that Daddy would just defy the odds of even death, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he just seemed to always fight through everything. And, you know, like people know he's been in the hospital on and off, and he always comes out of it. So we all expected that to be the same, and so did Lonnie. So it was sort of a surprise to us too. But
were you all with him
hoping
during those last few days? Can you talk us through what those final moments were like?
Well, yes, our stepmother called us all right away and told us that she was taking him to the hospital, and right away, my sister Miriam and myself were like, you know, we'll be right there. And then she let us know when we were making plans that we should actually get there as soon as possible. So we hopped on a plane and we just stayed at the hospital 24/7. You know, we went home to sleep, of course, and got back in the morning, and we all hung out with him in the room, and his friends and family. You know, people were gathering and coming into the waiting rooms, and Lonnie just kept it private so that the kids and grandkids could spend time with our father, and we all took turns, and we were in there laughing and crying and telling stories and crying and laughing and kissing him.
And what were those last few moments like?
I'm sorry.
I think, are you okay?
Okay, yeah. It was really beautiful. He was at peace, and, you know, we were all taking turns speaking with him and whispering and telling him we love him, and it was very peaceful and beautiful. He would have been proud.
He would have been
There was
proud.
any ma'am. There was any ma'am. You know, I think, yeah, because our father is such a spiritual man, and he's always been. He loves his religion, and it literally broke his heart to see, you know, I think the way the world is viewing Islam now as a whole because of the actions of a few people. And Islam means peace and love, and he's all about peace and love, and he's always tried to spread that and share that. And to see him go and have an imam there and reading the Quran to him in Arabic and in English, it was just beautiful and spiritual and overwhelming. And like I said, we went through a whole bunch of different emotions. So, but we had each other, and we were all strong, and we were just there. And we had, like I said, had times just sharing stories, and we were talking to him like he could hear us, and laughing, and just, you know, then crying and hugging and kissing him and hugging him. And it was just beautiful. Even the nurses that were helping him were in tears. You know, they love him. So
yeah,
the world loves him. He belongs to the world.
The world certainly does love him.
Yeah.
And you were a very, very close family. And the last time I spoke to you was in 2014 with the release of the documentary I Am Ali. It was a very intimate look at Mohammad Ali as a father. I just want to play a little bit of that interview right now.
Okay.
Each night before you go to bed, my baby.
Each night, go to bed, my baby.
While I'm far away from you, my baby.
Now Hana's a little girl.
Now, but Hana's a little girl.
She's 3 years old.
She's 2 years old.
He's just a playful, loving father, loved hugging, kissing.
A beautiful dialogue. I think it was between you and him about what's your purpose in life. What do you want to do with yourself?
Hey, you haven't found your life purpose yet, have you?
Yeah.
If everybody's born for purpose, what do you think you were born for?
To make people feel better, to fix people up.
That's good. That's good, man.
Those recordings are quite incredible to hear now, I imagine. But at the time when we spoke, your dad hadn't seen that piece. He hadn't seen that documentary. What was his reaction when he did see those home recordings making history?
I kept telling him the whole way through, so he knew it was coming. So the final result, May and myself, we went to visit him, and we just, we put the iPad in front of him and let him watch it. And he was actually in the hospital last year when he actually really got to watch it. So, but he was alert and happy, and just eyes were real big, and he was excited to see it, because he loves it. So they were just, those are like, those are gold. Those are golden to us. We love them, just to have his voice and, all those memories that were forgotten because, you're too young to remember at the time. Two and 3 years old, May was a little older, so she remembers. She was, I think, 7 or 8. Oh, no, she might have been 9 in that recording you played. But Miriam, his oldest child, May has always, she was like my father, known exactly what she wants to do in life. So that it was so amazing to hear him ask her that, and for her to say exactly what she grew up to do, help people.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. And one thing I was surprised about, and I think a lot of our viewers might be surprised to hear, is your dad singing often with you and your siblings.
Oh, God. Are you kidding me? Yeah. There's so many different clips of different songs he loved to sing, and it was usually the same ones over again. But he'd sing and try to dance. He had no rhythm. He always joked that, he had all this rhythm in the ring, but, he couldn't dance. So, yeah, he's just a big old ball of love and fun, and he's just a kid at heart. And I think that's one of the reasons why people took to him so much and loved him so much, and they could sense that in him.
Absolutely. Couldn't dance, but could certainly hold a tune. It was great to hear those songs. The death of Muhammad Ali, of course, is such a big loss to the world. He was an icon. But for you and the rest of your family, what are you losing? And what do you think he would make of all the coverage?
Oh, my God, are you kidding? My father, he loved when it got out in the press that he was dying, when he was healthy. He said, did I make the front page? Are they talking about me? He would be looking at the TV wide-eyed, excited. I said this many times, and I'm not kidding. He was his own biggest fan, but at the same time, he was so humble. He really was a contradiction. He was a beautiful contradiction. He knew his importance. He understood his importance in the world and his impact. He was the first to tell everybody he was the greatest. But at the same time, his humility, and he would ask, the people still remember me? I'm like, are you kidding me, Daddy? He'd ask Sheeta, me and Damon, do they still know me? Do they still talk about me? Are you kidding me, Daddy? The world will never forget you. They'll always remember you. They'll always love you. They'll always talk about you. You're the greatest, like in so many different ways. You're a hero. We love you. You're amazing. I think that because of the way the world is today, people are famous just for being famous, and not to take anything away from people, but I think my father is just one of those people that is worthy of, I think, the recognition and the extent that they're giving it to him for so many different reasons.
Absolutely. He certainly will not be forgotten. And he's, we know you're having a private ceremony this Thursday just with family. Do you know who will be speaking at that?
I believe it's President Clinton is all I know so far as anyone of notoriety. But as far as family goes, I think we might all be too choked up to say anything. I'm sure Lonnie will have a few words. But we haven't actually, amongst ourselves, discussed any of that. We're just sort of going with the flow and just getting there, not really talking about those things personally yet, but just, dealing with everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got the private family ceremony on the Thursday and a public on Friday.
Yeah. But, my father, I think it will be beautiful. My father actually said many times, and I think it might have gone unnoticed, but he used to have a dream that he was walking down. I don't remember the name of the street in Louisville, Kentucky, and all of the people were gathered around, and they were cheering his name and chanting and waving at him. And he said, all of a sudden, I just took off flying, and I dreamed that dream all the time. So I was telling Mamie last night, I said, Daddy had a premonition because they're going to have a beautiful parade in the streets of Louisville for him, He was saying that for years, in his 20s, and he said it was a reoccurring dream, all through his early life. And yesterday I was sitting with Mamie, and we were in the airport flying back from Arizona, and I was like, Mamie, that premonition Daddy had, it's happening, when we learned of exactly what was happening with the funeral. So I don't know. My father was so spiritual and on so many different levels, and it's how he handled Parkinson's and I think all the challenges of life. He never felt sorry for himself. He never wanted anyone else to feel sorry for him. He loved being Muhammad Ali, and he was so sort of just within just living the presence of his life every day with what God has dealt him, that he sometimes even forgot, didn't even think about the fact that he had Parkinson's. You know, he was walking with my stepmother a couple years ago, and she was sharing with him, you know, through the house, and she was sharing with him that someone they knew very well just was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he's not taking it well, and she wanted him to give him some advice, and my dad said, sure, you know, in his little sweet low voice, and Lonnie said, you know, Mohammed, how are you dealing with Parkinson's? How does it make you feel? And he said, you know, I don't think about it much. And he said, does the world know I have it? He said, yeah, they know you've got it. So, and that's just a testament, because it has nothing to do with his memory. He knows who he is. He's very aware of everything. He could tell you today, well, he could tell you who his first fight was, you know. But my father, that just speaks to show you the kind of spirit he has. He doesn't dwell on his condition. He just lives his life. He just lives his life, and he doesn't think about things like that. So I think that is one of just the examples of how spiritually evolved his spirit, his soul was. He just had this amazing acceptance and forgiveness and love and appreciation for life and people, and, you know, even just signing an autograph. It was so hard for him not to even sign an autograph, you know, because when he was a little boy, not a little boy, but when he was young, his idol turned him down, Sugar Ray Robinson. So he never wanted anyone to feel that pain. So even to this day, we would spend hours with him signing. He couldn't sign anymore, you know, with the arthritis in his hands and the Parkinson's, but he would just spend hours when he could signing autographs in advance. But when we went out into public and had to go to airports, he can pass them out and didn't want to leave one person out. He was just an amazing, amazing human being. I think the world knows that. And my father would be so happy right now and so blessed that people are, I think, honoring him the way they are. It would make him happy and proud, and I think excited like a little boy. He would love it. So
Yeah.
we always sat around watching news clips of himself and videos and laughing and pointing. And, you know, he just loved it. He'd have everybody point to the camera when he was on. So he would just love all of this. And that's pretty much why I wanted to share with the world how he went, and how beautiful it was and how peaceful it was, because I know that they love him too. And from the time I was 3 years old, you know, I realized that my father didn't belong to me. You know, he belonged to the world. And I'm okay with that. You know, he's loved, and we feel their love, and it helps us get through too, and that's the truth. So,
Hana Ali, it was so lovely to speak to you and to hear your thoughts at what is a really difficult time, I know, for you. But the world is also mourning the loss of your father. Really, he was the greatest, and we wish you all the very best in the days ahead.
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.